This is Mentally Dope. Join us, Charmaine and Jasmine, two Black licensed therapists, as we build a bridge between mental health and Black culture. Come on, it's gonna be dope. Guys, welcome back. We're staying mentally dope over here. We hope you were doing the same. We just want to I want to let you know we love you. I don't know, just came over me right then. We love you. So, we're trying something new today. Come with us on this journey. Some of us are nervous. Some of us don't know much about this life. But I just wanted to scour the world of Reddit and see, what are people talking about? What are people doing? What are y'all struggling with? How can we help?
And I don't know anything about Reddit.
She didn't even know how to get to Reddit, okay? So
I mean, it is what it is. I kind of know what it is, but Jasmine's going to pop this off and let's just go.
So we have 3 different sections. We're not going to stay too long in any of the sections, but there's wonderful threads if you're a Black and brown person, if you're a Black woman. r/Black ladies is a great one. It's very crowdsourced. It's very positive. And so we're going to start with answering some questions about them, which I really like. I like questions from Black people to Black people because we understand, we speak our own language, you know what I'm saying?
See me.
So we don't have to, we don't have to be worried about misunderstanding in the same way. So there's that. What else am I missing? What are your first thoughts about this thing that you don't know about?
I don't really have thoughts. It's just like, let's question, let's do an answer.
Okay. So one big question, which I'll make sure all the questions are linked on here, but the questions on r/Black ladies, which also, let me also say, I'm probably not going to tag anybody. Usually in Reddit posts, they like share who posted it. I'm probably not going to do that because I feel like these people are on Reddit. They ain't on YouTube. They didn't ask to be on YouTube.
Understood.
We're going to let them say where they at. If they want their privacy. If you want to go look for it, you can go look for it, but otherwise, whatever. So the question is, why do Black parents suck at mental health? That was the question. Okay. And I feel like this is a question that we get, but it's stated in different ways.
No, 100%. Because, yeah, my first thought is, two things that I feel like that we've discussed on the show probably in multiple different episodes. For one, it could be generational. Because
it is generational.
I mean, it could be. I mean, we also have some young parents that still suck.
Oh, you're saying specific to the person, but I'm just saying, like, part of the issue is it is generational.
Okay. But I think that it could be generational.
Slavery.
But I think that we also still have some young parents that suck at this.
For sure.
Because I think that a lot of times parents take the mental health of their child as like a direct thing of I'm not doing something right or that I failed. Mm-hmm. And so therefore I do not want to have to admit to failure. So I'd rather cover it up or not to deal with it in order to not acknowledge what is going on because I'm scared of it being a reflection from me.
Yeah. But I think that's also a thing that we do to parents, right? Like we make parents responsible for everything that their kid does, not realizing that
the kid becomes
children are their own thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can't influence them, we should not raise them, all of that. But like,
you are not.
I can't be responsible for your emotions.
Yeah. Or how you received something that I did, which is also why we've said multiple times, you could have had 5 kids, you raised them all like what you thought was the same, and then you got 5 kids who come out completely differently.
Absolutely.
And you all gave them the same lesson at the same time, and they all took it 5 different ways. Like, I mean, I tried, I did my best.
And something's hitting me right now as you say that. Even if you do that, you still can't parent 5 kids the same.
No,
like let's say you use the same techniques, the same strategies, and you are consistent. You still can't because there's still like dynamics.
Yeah, there's different personalities, there's different things. But that's what I said too.
But also birth order, right? Like the middle kid is going to have a different experience than the baby, than the oldest, whatever. There's just no way to do that, even if you do it perfectly.
Yeah, understood.
There is no same. It doesn't exist. So we have really high expectations for parents. I think we also don't help people do this, right? Like, think about having babies is you can just have them. You got to do more to be able to drive a car. You got to do more to be able to get a job.
Yeah.
You got to do more to be able to almost drink alcohol in its own way. Like, there are things we don't help people with this.
Yeah, but I think so. That brings it back to the understanding of like, for one, you have the parent who sometimes may struggle with their own mental health because life is life and life be life and it's hard. And I mean, we've dealt with that in multiple different layers, whether or not they want to do the whole "I don't have time" thing, or I like everyone's dependent on me thing, so they continue to put themselves on the back burner. But then that also can lead into, like I said, where you take it as like a direct hit to yourself that you didn't do enough because your child needs assistance in some way.
And then we get all this other stuff. And also, I think if we simplify it too, like why is somebody not good at math? Well, it's because like nobody taught them how to do it. Nobody helped them be confident in how to do it. Nobody like helped them practice in a calm and understanding way. I'm just thinking about a black parent trying to help you with your homework and how traumatizing that can be for many people. I'm having flashbacks, but it's okay.
That part.
And all that. So, like, I think it's simple. That doesn't mean it's not hard. And it doesn't mean like parents don't have their own work to do.
Yeah.
So that they can be better in understanding mental health. But like, you can't really be good at a thing that nobody took the time to invest in you about.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the short answer.
Yeah.
Oh, you had more? Did you have more?
Okay.
Okay. Next question we have
Right, I'm ready.
is, does anybody, this is also parents. We talk a lot about parents as black people.
Don't we?
So what are we trying to say there?
Don't we?
So what do you do if, I guess the question is, does anybody else have parents who have problems but refuse treatment because therapy is for white people? Because they say therapy is for white people. Unless they won't go.
Yeah, not even just parents, but just like family members in general. So it could be like your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your cousin, like people in your family in general who would just say that they're refusing to get treatment because treatment is for white people. I mean, we talked about this before, and I think about like our therapy myths or one of those videos where I have to go back and find it.
Therapy, what? Myths.
Myths.
Oh. Well, check out the Jamie Foxx video because I think that is a big one.
Yeah. But I think that, like, we talk about this. I mean, for one, we always say it does go back to slavery. So, like, there's a lot of like mistrust there, and like one of the things that we're trying really, really hard to do by even like having this platform and having this space is for us to be able to try to normalize and like destigmatize what mental health looks like in the black community, and even the fact that we're showing representation here, because I feel like that a lot of times, and like even like
Black.
yeah, that like most people still think that all therapists, all psychiatrists, all psychologists are like older white males, because I mean, don't get me wrong, we're still only 4%. We're still only 4% of the population, but but people still think that this is like what everyone is gonna look like. So therefore, we don't trust them. We also whether people want to believe it or not, there is actual a lot of researches of cases and studies that of like things that were done to black people, like as far as like experimentation.
I don't know that you're gonna believe it and wish and hope for it. It's documented, but sure, whatever.
Some people say that things are made up because we want to erase history, but whatever. That's a different soapbox. So I think that it's a thing that people do refuse treatment because of the mistrust. They don't believe it's something that that is a thing, and I think that we also have to deal with the complexity of like what people consider to be like white fragility. Fragility. That's the word.
Yeah, I was following you, but
it's good. But the idea of like what that looks like, that there are certain things that people go through that are white that people don't go through which is black, which is actually not true. And like it may look different.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that is true because we do go through things. But you're saying like
No,
that
mental
black
health
people
issues.
don't have the same range of emotions, or that we are
Yes.
stronger than other. Literally, there's been studies that like physicians believe that black women can
100%.
tolerate more pain than white women. Like, why would that be the case?
Because people still look at us as if we're like inhumane. And that's like tell me like how much sense does that make that my body feels things differently? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it makes a lot of sense to me. If you have to justify why you need to enslave somebody, you have to think there's something wrong with them, right? Like you have to believe that.
But I think
on
that
some
the
level.
hard thing is that like present day, and like even like present day, like I think I said this before, that I worked at a facility with like millennial age white doctors and nurses
I was like, we're millennials. Okay.
who were like taught in school that yes, black and brown women can handle things harder, and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Why does that make sense to you? At this day and age, you still hear that, and that makes sense to you. Okay.
Yeah, but it would make sense if everything else around you is telling you that black people are different than you. And so, like, that's an easy thing to wrap your head around at that point, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, well, if they're different, then what's also different is their pain threshold.
Which I think is the hard thing, because then that creates this stereotype and this idea that we feel and that we do things differently. Like that so now we don't struggle with depression. Lie. We don't struggle with anxiety. Lie. We don't struggle with PTSD. Lie. This is not something that is just white people. It's all of us. I think that there's the idea that you have people who say like that's not us, that's a white people thing, and then the treatment also comes from white people. We don't trust them, so therefore
that's the answer to the question.
Yeah,
right,
all encompassed. We're gonna refuse treatment because that's not for us.
Yes. So like, sum it up. What Charmaine was saying is like, it comes from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
People used to refuse treatment because that was the case. This treatment was only for white people. Yes. It was only made by white men. It was only for white women. That's interesting. We should go back to that. But like, it was only for that.
Yes, and the diagnosis were not things that black people dealt with because we're human and we don't have emotions like that.
So like, we get where it comes from, and also it doesn't look the same as to when it first started.
Yeah, and hopefully it can continue to grow with us being able to continue to have these conversations and try to change this narrative that we did not create.
Absolutely. So keep engaging in the Black people therapist content, because we're not the same. It's not carbon copies out here. It looks very much different.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. That's good news. So yeah, tell us what you think about that. If you agree or don't agree, or I'm sure there's something we left out. Oh, what I did want to say is that it's just ironic that we would not have all of the medical information that we have if we didn't have Black people to experiment on and traumatize, but we still can't fit into this system in a way that helps us. So that's ironic, and that's all I'm going to say. Bam.
Okay.
It's going, and we're putting the mic down. It's down. I'm getting off my soapbox.
Okay.
For now. Okay. So I'm going to read you a story.
Okay. I don't know why. When Jasmine makes these faces, I'm just like,
I just get so animated about it. I'm going to read you a little story. I want you to tell me what you think about this situation, okay?
Let's go.
I don't want to read any names, but I'm going to keep moving on.
Okay.
So this is the AITA. Am I the a-hole? All right. This is in relationships. So specifically a relationship.
Okay.
So I'm going to read you the title. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex's mom the truth about his affair and refusing to clean up his messes?
Okay, wait. So I told my ex's mom
about
your
ex's affair.
Wait. I told my ex's mom about his affair?
Yes.
And refusing to lie?
Yes. And clean up her ex's messes, which it sounds like the ex cheated on her and she told his mom. Like, probably didn't volunteer it. Probably like she was in some business. We're about to see.
This is interesting. I would definitely not say that she is the a-hole in this situation.
Okay, wait. I got to read you the story. You're ready to go.
Oh, I thought that was it.
No, that's the question. I got to read you the story.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, but from the title, that's what you also should do. From the title, you have to be like, oh, well,
okay.
I don't know. So you're saying right now, probably not.
Okay.
We'll see. My ex, a 30-year, I can't talk. Why can't I do this? Okay, so my ex, a 38-year-old female. No. The person who's writing is 38-year-old female. Okay. The ex-fiance is 54. Now, let's call him Kevin.
Okay.
Kevin cheated on me with a woman I'll call Alicia. It wasn't a drunken mistake. It was a months-long emotional and physical affair that he gaslit me over and tried to downplay. And pretended it was totally fine. I'm skipping through some stuff. Because we needed a break and I was just not meeting his needs. Okay? After I found out and left, he still leaned on me like I was his therapist. Came to me crying about his life, his kids, his guilt, blah, 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 blah. It gets worse. Recently, he flew to another city to play stepdad to a single mom, which I'm guessing is not the affair partner, and her 7-year-old son. I warned him it was delusional, especially since he can't parent his actual child. Oh, no. And that his own daughter already carries the emotional burden of not having stable role models. Then he blocked me. Okay. Oh, interesting. So I did what I felt was the only thing left to do. I told his mother the truth, the full truth, that he cheated. And then I left. And that he manipulated me for months after. And that I wasn't going to recover for him anymore. Interesting.
I mean, I think that there's. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that it?
And let me read this last thing.
Okay.
Now he's saying I betrayed him and that I made him look bad to his mom. That I shouldn't have stayed silent and let him rewrite the narrative. His mom is upset, but I'm tired of being called the bad guy by his sister and his ex-wife and pretty much everyone they know, because it sounds like they always talk about it. So am I the a-hole for pulling back the curtain and refusing to carry his secrets for one more second?
I would still say no.
Why?
I don't think and I've seen this so many times. I guess I don't know. Maybe this is something like within me. I don't like the idea of trying to protect someone who doesn't always need to be protected. They might need to deal with the consequences of their actions, especially if it means. I mean, people are going to believe what they want to believe and think what they want to think. The mom could have easily been like, I don't believe that about my child. But still, like, I don't think that it's her place to just lie just to protect him when he was, like, purposely doing something that was, like, a consequence of his action. Now, like, my only thing was, like, did she just, like, go, like, seek out the mom?
Yes, that's my issue.
Like, hey, mom.
That's my issue. I was like, does that change things because she did seek out the mom? The mom didn't ask. She wasn't in a sticky situation where she could have lied and told the truth. She said, I'm mad at you. I'm going to go tell your mama.
That's what I'm saying. But like maybe it was like she said that they had already been talking. Mom already believed other things. Mom was saying these things about her. Sisters were saying these things about her. Ex-wife was saying that. So he's pretty much spreading the narrative that she is the bad guy. So yes, 100%.
His mom thinks that about her. Sister thinks that about his ex-wife, whatever, thinks that about her.
100%. And so
you have a right to clear your name, right?
Yeah, but like I said, people are still going to believe what they want to believe.
Absolutely,
like, I mean,
can't control that.
She can say that, and people are still going to be like, "Well, I don't believe that," or still like, "Well, what did you do to him?" Okay. So
that's a good point too.
Yeah, but
I think it's a little extra to go out of your way to be like, "Let me tell you the truth." But I think, and this is what I tell my clients a lot: if somebody comes to you and asks you about the truth, you have no obligation to lie.
But here's my thing,
tell
though:
the truth.
If the mother had already had this conversation and you lied back then, like, I mean, all you're doing is now going back and clear up something that you had already lied about. Hey, like, you know, last month you asked me about this, and now I want to clear it up.
I don't think that's what happened, but I also am not mad at it. If I think it would be wrong if she went and she made up stories and didn't tell the truth just to make them mad at him. But if you go to someone and you say, this is the truth, this is what happened from my perspective, you're not lying on anybody. You're not doing anything. If you wanted the story to sound better, you should have acted better because I'm telling what happened.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's the thing that he was mad about more is that you didn't lie, so now they can't look at me in this certain way. Because he wanted to tell it his way so that he would look like a good guy.
Yeah. And maybe he was, honestly and truthfully, used to continuing to get over on her because, I mean, clearly, like you said, he hurt her in this way, but was continuing to use her and manipulate her in these different ways to, like, you know, utilize her friendship and still hanging out. Like I'm going to call you and tell you that I'm going to hang out with another woman and her child when I'm not seeing my own child. Like, he was clearly being, like levels of, like, disrespectful to her.
I'm going to call you and tell you I feel guilty about the woman I cheated on you with.
Yeah.
So again, there's two responsibilities in this situation. I'm gonna tell you that because you don't have to pick up the phone for somebody who cheated on you. No. You don't have to be emotional space for somebody that cheated on you. No. So, you know,
but this goes back to something
choice
that we've said before too. I think that it is hard for some people, whether or not it's an internal thing, whether or not it's people pleasing, whether or not it's fears of, like, abandonment, like you're not losing that attachment. I know a lot of people who have been with somebody, divorced that person hurt them, and they continue to be accessible or even a punching bag to that person who they are no longer married to.
Which is hard. But I think because she wasn't able to draw boundaries, she got to the exploding point, right?
Yes.
I'm just like, well, I'm going to blow it up.
And then it went too far.
And then now everybody mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My read is everybody kind of sucks in this situation. I don't really like it for anybody. I don't think you were wrong.
Yeah. I don't think she was
I kind of think you were a little wrong. But it's okay. Okay. We don't know. It's unresolved.
Okay.
This one is timely. It's one that we talk about a lot. All
Okay.
right, I'm gonna read you the title.
Okay.
Stepmom slut-shamed me for wearing shorts, tank top, and a jacket. Okay, this
Okay.
is specifically...
Shorts, tank top, and a jacket.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of clothes to me.
I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
But this is specifically on r/black ladies. So take that
Okay.
in your reading. This one's shorter.
arsenal. Okay.
Yes. We had to leave early this morning for my college orientation. Okay. So this is an 18 something probably.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's going to be 85 to 90 degrees outside, I decided to wear shorts, a tank top with a jacket. Wear shorts and a tank top with a jacket. When she saw, this is stepmom, what I had on, she yelled at me and said, "Why am I dressed like a slut/hoe for my school orientation?" and made me change into jeans and a shirt, which, okay. Mm-hmm. During the car ride, she continued to yell at me and threatened to hit me. Oh, no. While I was crying, it said I needed to get my feelings hurt. And then I think everything revolves around me. She said black women are seen as promiscuous, even, and that I need to be a leader, not a follower. I'm trying to get over it, but I'm so disgusted and disappointed. What I wore was casual, and the shorts covered my butt, and it was a size larger. Now at my orientation, I don't feel confident or comfortable. I see many peers wearing shorts, crop top. Listen, you know what the kids is wearing, okay? I don't understand why my stepmom cares so much about something as harmless as clothing. She likes to say, a man is going to think you're a hoe. But I honestly can care less about what men think. I just need encouragement from others and advice from anyone else that has experienced discrimination or judgmental toxic parents.
Yeah.
See, this is layered because it's coming from a black person to a black person. This ain't a normal discussion.
And we're also talking about two different generations here.
Absolutely.
So am I saying
Hopefully.
that the stepmother's behaviors were right? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that they were right. Were her potential intentions behind her behaviors? Do I understand them? Yes. This also goes
I
back.
think both can be true.
I think that we go back to what we've always said. Like, we're talking about slavery. Like, I'm sorry, it is what it is. But we're talking about like how that looks. Like even like, you know, like forward into like different generations, how people have always viewed women in the way that women dress, and then also when it comes to black women, do women in general, like the culture of women, do we get viewed differently based on the way that we dress? If our legs are out, if our arms are out, like, I mean, if your back is out, like whatever it is, do people judge people that way? 100%. Is the mom potentially scared of like not of like wanting her to,
Gotta be.
like, I mean, like the thing that we've always heard, you have to be twice as good or 100 times better in order to be seen. It's like, you know, half as good. So yes,
Or like she's
everybody
doing
else-
something new. She's going to college. She's going to be by herself
Yes.
potentially. And you look like this. Like, this scares me even more. Because what if somebody wants to do something to you?
Yes. So, which, I mean, yes, in hindsight, dudes ain't gonna care if you got on jeans. Like, you could have on sweatpants. They're not gonna care. But we also do still live in this environment, unfortunately, sometimes, that when things happen to women, that we still have people say that, what does she have on?
What did she wear on? Where was she wearing? Why was she there? What was she doing? Like, all of these questions.
Like,
as if it's the woman's fault
Yes.
that somebody hurt her.
And I think that sometimes that we have adapted to that as a culture, that now people do take those things and say, like, well, part of it is your fault. You shouldn't have had this on. You're going to school. You're not going to Freaknik.
You were asking for it,
You
right?
don't need to have these shorts on. When, like she said, I mean, college
She
orientation.
was going to Freaknik.
It's August. It's hot outside.
Do you understand how hot it is? Yeah, I don't understand how hot it is. We in the South.
And
No.
then when she said that it covered her butt, it wasn't like she had, like, you know, the little like shorts on with booty cheeks hanging out.
But at the
So-
same time, she also is grown, right? We're not talking about a minor at this point.
But if she is, but we, you know, we also teeter on that line. The 18-year-old is like grown legally,
I understand.
but not quite.
But
not
at the
quite
same,
grown.
like, there's a little bit of let go of, like, your consequences are going to be your consequences. And I'm not saying her being harmed is a consequence, but, like, if she doesn't like the way that she's portrayed or perceived, she gets to be more in charge of that than a parent.
But
Like,
yes.
you can say something like, I don't think that's appropriate, but do what you got to do.
But how many parents do we know who really like don't take their hands off like that? I mean, some do 100%, but you have other ones who are not gonna like take them hands off like that. They're gonna. I'm staying gripped onto this of like, I'm not ready to let you go.
But threatening to hit somebody is excessive. Like, I ain't
100%.
gotta. Why we gotta do all that? You could be like, and also I think calling somebody out their name, saying you a hoe and you a slut, that's too much. But you
Yes.
could be like again, that doesn't make what is right. Like, that's stepmom's opinion. That's her opinion. She gets to
100%.
have her opinion. But it would be a different thing to say, Like, you really gonna wear that? Does that really show you in the most professional light? Like, you're gonna be meeting people, all this other stuff, like, whatever. I don't care what people wear. But that's a different way than being like, girl. And again, that just might be how some people communicate too.
Unfortunately, it does. I think it is. There's
And
not,
some black
it does
parents
not
would be
make it
like,
right.
girl, you look like a hoe, and all this other stuff of like, that knocks down somebody's self-esteem versus it's a fixable problem. Like, it's a choice. Do you want to make a different choice? This is your life. Or don't you?
Yeah.
And then the issue was all her peers are wearing the same thing.
But like she said, like, we didn't also like identify who the peers were. Like, what if all the peers were white?
But I think that's also the stepmom's problem, right? She's like, we, and lots of black women, like, we have to live in this white world. That's why black women and black people in general have always had to worry about our appearance and what we look like.
Yeah.
Because we don't fit in here and we got to blend in.
So the idea, too, could have been like, so they can do that, but you can't do that. So, yeah, they can have on shorts, but you can't. So I'm not saying that it's, like I said, I don't think that it's right. I do also feel for the child because I'm pretty sure, and I mean, I know that I've been through spaces where my mother or people have said things to me based on their generation. I'm like, I don't get it based on my generation. Like, I don't understand. This isn't a thing. And mom's like, yes, it is. No, Mama, it's not. Like, this isn't a thing anymore.
It was a thing for you.
Yes.
It's not a thing anymore. Or we live in such a way that it's not a consequence for me, right? Yeah. Back then, you wasn't getting jobs because your hair looked a certain way. You wasn't doing this. And I'm not saying that doesn't still happen now.
Yes.
But it happens far less than it did before.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe there are consequences, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Because my livelihood is not going to be impacted.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, though, right? That means society is like going in the direction we want it to, that we care less. But dang.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't agree with that. But I do understand the intent behind her very, very negative behavior.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Okay.
No. And we get it, black mamas. We understand. We just got to make it look different.
Yeah, we got to do better.
Okay, are you here with me? Are you here with me?
I'm following.
Okay, I'm just saying. We can take a break. This is the last one in this section, and we're moving on. Okay. Am I the a-hole for not dating a black woman and upsetting my mother? And when I tell you this hits way too close to home, that's all I'm gonna say. I am a 22-year-old male, and I believe this is a black man, is what he's saying. I'm not sure. We're gonna see. My mother has been very vocal about my dating preferences recently. She has been upset that I haven't dated a black woman and feels like I should be focusing on dating within our own race. Okay.
So he's a black man.
Okay. What?
So he is a black man.
Oh, okay. I thought you said white. I was like, wait, no. Okay. To give you some context, my mother is very involved in our community. I just feel like, don't let this be my child, because this sounds just like me. Is very involved in our community, has strong opinions about racial and cultural identity, and has tried to set me up with several black women, emphasizing that it's important for me to date someone of our race. I feel a physical reaction to reading this. The truth is I've never found black women attractive, and it's not something I can control. I've always believed in dating based on personal connection rather than race. I've had relationships with women of different backgrounds, and I'm currently seeing someone who is white. Let me breathe. My mother has found out about this relationship and was furious. She believes I'm disrespecting our culture and our heritage by not dating within our race. Okay, that's a lot. She made it clear that she's deeply disappointed in me and thinks I'm being selfish and ungrateful. I understand her perspective, but I don't think it's fair to dictate who I should be with based on race. I love my mother, but I'm trying to live my life authentically. Am I the a-hole for choosing not to date a black woman and upsetting my mother?
I don't think that he's the a-hole.
This feels complicated, though.
I mean, I think that his mother put really, really hard expectations
There's a lot of pressure
on him. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on them. I think, I mean, I can't say this because I mean, I don't know them. I don't know the situation. I'm curious if in any way, with all her pressure, that she pushed him away.
Maybe. That is definitely a thing.
But I mean, so yeah. I mean, personal feelings aside, I think that everybody should be able to date whoever they personally feel attracted to. I mean, I don't like for people to say I don't like black women. That's a little harsh. But I mean, as long as it isn't attached to like stereotypes, I don't care. I mean, everybody has types. You can like what you like, as long as it's not like I don't like them because like they ghetto or they got like 5 kids and five baby daddies or stuff like that. But I think it's like if you like what you like and date who you date.
Definitely, but I do think it is everybody's responsibility to dissect their preferences. That doesn't necessarily mean change them.
Yeah.
But be aware of what your preferences are and why.
Yeah, and why.
I think that's important because, again, internalized racism is a real thing.
It is.
Which that is not to automatically say this person has like internalized racism or anything like that. But I think we all have to be aware that living in this society that caters only to white bodies in lightness and straightness, straightness and straight hair has an effect on everyone. So everyone's going to have at least a tiny microdose of that's what everybody should be looking for, looking in that direction.
Yeah.
So some people have not taken the time to unlearn that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's harmful. Sometimes it's really not. So I think like we have to do our own work around it, but that doesn't automatically mean you're racist or you don't like black people or black women. But I can say I do have complicated feelings about it.
Okay.
Because what if not just you don't have a preference? What if you were just like, I'm never dating black women. I don't like black women. I'm black. But I ain't never going to do that.
That's why I said I think
that's different.
Yeah. To me, there's a difference of when it comes with the negative stereotypes or like the negative connotation of like there's something wrong with black women, versus just saying this is what I like.
But I also think sometimes it's an excuse too. I think people struggle with talking about this because they're like, the excuse is, well, that's just my preference. I can't do anything about that. I don't get to choose my preference. But how do you know what's underneath there is, I'm only looking for big booty Judy, or I have no desire to even touch that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And nobody can really tell you that. You got to figure that out by yourself. But I will say the style of parenting felt like a lot. It didn't feel like that was going to be helpful to their relationship.
I think and that's the hard part for me. I think that a lot of times when people think that they can beat something into somebody, and that's not quite how that works.
Or like telling somebody they're a disappointment and all of that. That's a lot. Like you can say, I really want this for you. This has always been my dream for you. But also like, I have to respect your decisions. That's a different way to hold that than to be like, this is terrible. You're disrespecting our culture. That's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I don't like that.
Yeah. There's a better way to do that. I don't know. This is all hard. That's my jurisdiction. Is anybody the a-hole? I don't know, but it's all hard. Okay. We're moving on to the therapist portion. So if you're a therapist or you want to hear about therapist stuff, this is for you.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm going to go in reverse order. This is something that we deal with a lot. You've heard us talk about this a lot. Okay. The title is, this is r/therapist. This is this thread. I told my dental hygienist that I'm a therapist. Can you see where this is going? Okay.
Yeah.
This is short. Got a new dental hygienist. She asked what I do for work. Tell her I'm a mental health therapist. She proceeds to dump all her trauma on me for the next 45 minutes while working on my teeth. When I tell you, let me keep going. Here I am just saying, while I have the instruments in my mouth. On top of that, when she took them out of my mouth, she would ask what I thought about what she just dumped on me. Damn, she wanted a session right then. All I can think in my head is, I'm trying to make room for my own anxiety here. This is all caps. Because I hate the dentist so much and I can't be your therapist right now too. I can go on, but I know you all can relate when you tell someone you're a therapist, and at that moment, you want to be a person and not a therapist.
Okay, so y'all, I don't use Reddit, but that happened to me last week.
Oh, this wasn't you?
No, it was not me.
Okay, this is not you at A Modest Rebellion? Okay.
No, I don't even use Reddit. But yes, last week I got a new dental hygienist. She asked me what I did. I don't know why, because yes, I normally lie about what I do.
Lie.
I do. I wasn't thinking about it. She was like,
and then you shot Shirley.
Yeah,
she's not gonna.
She was like, do you work close? And I was like, yeah, I'm a counselor down the street.
No.
I wasn't thinking. Literally, while my mouth was open for the next 14 minutes, I heard all about her husband cheating on her, her divorce, her new husband, all of her trauma with her kid. Like, and all I kept doing was with my mouth open with the tissue going through, and that's all I heard. And I was just like, what just happened to me at 7 a.m.?
I forgot you were early bird.
Yeah, I went before work.
Let me tell you how that would ruin my day.
So yeah, like, so I was like, so yeah, that like as you were reading, I was like, okay, yeah, that actually just happened to me like last Monday.
But I think that people forget that we're humans too.
But I think that there's also a difference. There are honestly and truthfully some therapists who like this. I don't know. Like
That's true. That's very true.
I've seen some therapists who actually
They're like,
this.
yes, girl, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to my Uber driver. I'm going to talk to my nail lady. I get it. That's good for you.
That's
not for me.
I am the person who, when I'm in my Uber, I have headphones in. I'm not even listening to anything. I just don't want you to talk to me.
I don't have to have headphones in. We're still not talking though.
Yes, and I don't like you were saying. I'm pretty sure I said this before. I don't like either people to stereotype me when I say that I'm a therapist. Oh, she's psychoanalyzing me. No, I'm not. I don't even care about you.
Like, still psychoanalyzing.
Yeah, I'm over here eating my wings, sir. Like, and don't nobody care about you in your life. Or people who will sit there and try to like throw out their stuff and be like, "Are you here?" Like, I would literally be at work in the break room, minding my business, eating my lunch, and then somebody would come and be like, "So, y'all, my husband, me and him are having these issues. Charmaine, are you listening?" "No, Linda, I'm not listening. I'm eating my pasta. Can you scoot back over there?" Like, I've had therapy sessions all day. What I don't want to do is also have you during my lunch break. Break is the key word. Back up off me.
And maybe that's the issue, though. People think that we enjoy this so much that we never want to stop.
I do
that we never want to turn it off.
I love my job. I absolutely love my job. But I do not.
I don't ever want to do it all the time, 24 hours a day, and like not sleep. Yes. That's crazy.
And there is a cutoff to where you're not going to get therapist Charmaine. You're getting Charmaine.
Yeah, but I think people don't get that in order for us to do our jobs well, we have to have boundaries around it, which means I do it from this hour to this hour. I do it in this way.
What did Big Red say? My office hours are from 9 to 5. Like, it is 5:15. That means that you are past my office hours.
That's what I'm saying. But like, this is why we have boundaries around it. But oh my God, it's just a lot. It's a lot. You ever see those memes of the police? This is how I feel like. Somebody will post something and be like, the popo sitting on exit 34, they trying to get us. And then Hobie will show the video. He'd be like, I'm just trying to eat my Taco Bell, dog. Like, I'm just having my lunch break. I'm not trying to stop. I'm not trying to catch y'all with the speed trap. Like, I didn't eat lunch yet. And that's why I feel like therapists are like, I'm just out here, my guy. Like, I told you when therapists be out in the wild and you see something crazy and people be like, we need a therapist. And I'd be like,
what a therapist said, y'all?
I hope y'all find one. I'm not at work. And I'm not looking to do anything extra.
And I actually hate when something happens. I'm just being honest. When something happens and people be like, Charmaine, can you help? No.
But I also don't have an issue saying that either. Like, in this situation, if I had a dental hygienist doing this, I'd be like, yeah, but I don't want to talk about work right now.
But see, you can't
and they can still talk
because literally my mouth was open. I'm just sitting here like,
Yeah. But then also, I'm not going to give you anything. It's going to be very unsatisfying for you.
You got nothing.
And even if that's happening, that's usually why when I go to the dentist, I got my headphones in. I'll be like, huh? Oh, okay. So if I got to say, 3 times and that annoys you, you should probably stop asking me questions. And so,
yeah.
I already told you no. I was assertive. Mm-hmm. You keep going. I'm not going. That's my boundary. Okay, well, you're going to keep talking about it. I'm going to stop listening.
Yeah. I do think that is a thing that not only should we not automatically assume that people, just because people, it's someone's profession, that they're gonna give it to you for free. Also without.
That also is disrespectful.
Also without warning. That bothers me too. You don't even ask. You just come sit down and just start talking. That's like really, really disrespectful. Really, really rude.
I hate it. That's happened to me at church before too.
Oh.
Someone's like, "Do you have 5 minutes?" And then it turns into 20 minutes. And like, "What do you think we should do?" I'm like, I can't cuss you out in the house of the Lord. That ain't right. But I don't like what just happened.
Well, like we said in that video, like I be out doing other stuff. I didn't have libations. Now I am in the corner. And
oh my God, that's a whole other thing.
And you're like, well, my cousin's kid is, ma'am.
And this is why the intake is so important. And you have these conversations because when I have an intake, I said, listen. If you like going to this place, I like going to this place too. So if you see me out and about, mind your business. We'll talk about it in the next session.
Alone.
You can talk to me if you want to, but listen, don't think that I am going to be responsible or have any liability in that moment. Because that's not what I'm here for.
Okay.
We felt that. It felt that in my spirit. This is the last one. Okay?
Okay.
Whew. And this has not happened to me, but I think it's funny.
Okay.
All right. My client terminated me because of my taste in music.
Wait, what?
Oh, you'll
run that back? Okay.
My client terminated me because of my taste in music.
Okay.
But it's funny. It's not upsetting. or this therapist thought it was funny. I'll say that. One of my clients randomly asked me if I liked the music of a popular pop star. The singer's first name is also the name of someone who likes fitted clothing. Okay. Who makes fitted clothing. There we go. And their last name is another word for to move quickly. So you take that how you want to take that.
Okay. Got it.
I said no, that I am more of a metal person. And then they walked out of the session not saying a word and left the office. I and my supervisor got an email saying they needed a new clinician because they cannot work with someone who isn't a pet name for the name of the fan base. I guess you can read this as Swiftie. All right. Mind you, I have worked with this person for 6 sessions already, and I thought we had decent rapport. I found this so humorous that I am not even upset.
I mean, people are serious. Y'all know that them Swifties, them beehavers, like them folks don't play.
Do you have to have a therapist as a Swiftie?
I don't agree. I do not agree. But I think that maybe if that is part of like who they are as a person, like deep in their spirit, if you be a Swiftie, is it like deep in your spirit? I think like talk about this all through session. Maybe I want you to relate. I don't know. It's not me. I'm just trying to like pull out a point.
I would say as long as that person is not opposed. Like, if you have a therapist that absolutely hates Taylor Swift, doesn't want to hear their name, only wants to talk stuff about them, and you're a Swiftie, okay, maybe that's not a good fit.
Okay.
Because you're going to be in here doing the thing. But if you have someone who's like, okay, I don't care, like, whatever, that's what you want, do what you got to do. Why do we have to leave?
I don't know.
Why do you have to walk out of the session right then? Not even wait till the end of the session. Also, and wait 6 sessions in to ask that question? If it was that important, you should ask an intake.
Yeah. That's weird, guys. But do what you do.
I mean, people are in therapy for a reason.
Yeah, do what you do.
I'll say that. And I will also add, it just could be an excuse. You ever had that happen before?
Mm-hmm.
That people just like, I'm just going to terminate. This is actually not good, but it's really an excuse because like maybe they didn't want to do the work. Mm-hmm. Maybe they ain't ready to do what they got to do.
I was thinking the exact same thing, that it could have been something else and we just threw it in there. Mm-hmm. Like, you know how people like getting mad and like nothing. You don't eat salads. I'm out of here. Like, what?
She always munching on that salad. I can't stand it. It'd be like, Paul, you wasn't finna come in here and do the work anyway. Just say what it is. You didn't want to be here. Your wife was forcing you to be here. And
yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
But therapists do get their feelings hurt sometimes. I will tell you that. Therapists are humans too, just in case you didn't know. So we get our feelings hurt. But in that situation, it's almost so absurd.
Yeah,
I couldn't even be mad.
Yeah, I think I would have laughed.
I can't be a Swiftie for you, baby.
So, it is what it is. That's funny.
Guys, okay. That is it for us today. Let us know if you're interested in the Reddit stuff at all, if that lands with you anywhere. Yeah. If you would have differing advice than we would have.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if advice is the right word, but just a different opinion.
Responses, yeah.
Yeah. And all that. And as usual, y'all, drink water. Go to therapy. Take deep breaths. Address your mental health.
All the things to
stay mentally dope. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.